In the chaotic world of modern dating, mixed signals can drive anyone to the edge. But here's what's surprising. You think she's avoiding you because she's lost interest or playing games. But if you notice subtle shifts, like her pulling back after intense moments or zoning out in your presence, she might actually be scared of catching feelings, guarding her heart from the vulnerability that comes with real emotional investment. Today, we're diving into the female psychology behind this, backed by insights from relationship experts and studies on attachment and fear in romance. According to relationship psychologists and surveys on dating behaviors, women often experience heightened emotional caution when feelings start to deepen, leading to what looks like avoidance but is really self-protection. For instance, a 2023 Medium article on female emotional signals highlights how women might become unusually quiet or daydreamy as they process budding feelings, fearing the risk of heartbreak. Research from the National Institutes of Health on gender differences in emotion regulation shows women tend to engage more intensely with negative emotions during processing, which can amplify fears of vulnerability in early romance. And a Psych Central piece on push-pull dynamics explains that this back and forth stems from internal conflicts, where attraction clashes with past hurts or self-doubt. Social expectations add layers. Women are often conditioned to prioritize emotional independence, especially after past relationships gone wrong. Financial autonomy and career focus empower them, but they can also heighten fears of losing control in love. Shifting dating norms, fueled by apps and social media, create comparison traps where vulnerability feels risky. Demanding lifestyles leave little room for emotional exposure, leading to exhaustion that manifests as distance, without admitting the underlying fear of getting too attached. At the same time, men often interpret this avoidance differently, assuming disinterest or manipulation when it's actually a sign of deepening affection clashing with caution. Instead of pursuing harder or backing off entirely, understanding this can shift the dynamic. Men might chase clarity through direct confrontation, but women in this state are simplifying their emotional world, protecting time, energy, and heart from potential pain. Articles like those on Zoosk detail how women pull away not from lack of interest, but from reluctance to commit too soon or unresolved feelings elsewhere. Quora discussions and Reddit threads echo this, with users sharing how women evaluate emotional investment during these pulls, testing if the connection feels safe. It's a protective mechanism rooted in psychology, where fear of rejection or loss prompts retreat, even as interest grows. Women navigating these feelings have often experienced the highs and lows of romance. They've invested, trusted, faced betrayals, and rebuilt, leading research to show they become more selective about emotional openness. Studies on attachment theory, like those referenced in short-form books, reveal women pull away from happiness bubbles due to lingering fears, sadness, or grief from past experiences. They're no longer swayed by superficial charm. They're not inviting unnecessary drama. They're not rushing to prove compatibility. Insights from Apollonia Ponti emphasize that attraction fades if it feels irrational or overwhelming, prompting distance to regain balance. They've learned through trial and error that unchecked feelings can lead to vulnerability traps, so they hit pause to assess. They've learned the cost of diving in too fast, the emotional toll of unreciprocated investment, the psychological strain of uncertainty, and even the mental health impacts. Research indicates that women in high-emotion scenarios face amplified anxiety from push-pull cycles, with studies linking this to broader patterns of emotion regulation where fear overrides desire. A YouTube psychology breakdown notes that if she's pulling away after caring starts, it's often self-sabotage from past wounds, not rejection. So many women quietly decide to step back, saying internally, "not yet," to shield themselves from potential hurt. Here's where the misunderstanding peaks. You might think her distance means she's over it, but biology, dating psychology, and attachment styles suggest otherwise. Early attraction brings easy chemistry, but as feelings deepen, fear kicks in, prompting avoidance that's not disinterest, but defense. Wessery lists 17 signs like inconsistent communication or deep talks followed by silence, signaling interest tempered by commitment fears. Brides magazine highlights sparse hangouts despite emotional depth as a classic fear of falling indicator. Biology plays a role with oxytocin surges heightening bonding fears, while psychology points to avoidant attachments making vulnerability scary. Meanwhile, instead of overanalyzing her signals, savvy men focus on patience and consistency, recognizing this phase as part of her processing. They invest in self-assurance, honing communication skills. They nurture their own interests, avoiding desperation. They embrace calm, giving space without withdrawal. They rediscover balance, turning inward to build confidence. G-editing outlines signs like caution in sharing or subtle hints, advising gentle reassurance to ease fears. A Facebook psychology reel notes body language cues like fidgeting as unspoken affection. Here is the part most people misunderstand. She's not cold or uninterested. She's not stringing you along. She's not playing hard to get. She's simply terrified of the feelings catching up, prioritizing emotional safety over immediate connection, as Quora experts explain through hints of crushes without direct admission. If your interactions bring trust, warmth, consistency, and mutual respect, she'll lean in. But if they trigger old fears, inconsistency, pressure, or uncertainty, she'll pull away without explanation. This isn't rejection, it's wisdom. YouTube analyses on hidden feelings stress that fear of hurt leads to guarded behaviors, but patience can unlock openness. When psychologists survey women who've navigated this, they consistently value the same in partners who help them overcome fears. Steady presence without demands, emotional safety and respect, kindness that reassures, gentleness in vulnerability, reliability over excitement, honesty that builds security, not grand gestures, not fantasy ideals, not constant thrills. Marriage.com notes ongoing communication as a sign of lingering interest despite fear, suggesting subtle encouragement. Women don't need someone to force their feelings out. They need someone who doesn't amplify their fears, allowing space for emotions to unfold naturally. While dating confusion rises, men who spot these signs gain an edge, a clearer understanding of her inner world, better emotional navigation, stronger connections built on patience, improved self-awareness, and relationships free from misread signals. HuffPost touches on broader trends where women opt out of emotional labor, but in budding romance, it's often fear-driven retreat. That doesn't mean ignore red flags. It means recognize fear for what it is, and respond with empathy, not pursuit. So if you're a man decoding these signals, remember, you're not misreading everything. You're not chasing shadows. You're witnessing a phase where her heart is catching up to her head, and your steadiness matters more than your urgency. Embrace this insight. It's key to deeper bonds. Observe wisely, foster trust, nurture patience, and only invest where feelings can bloom safely. If you're interested in female psychology, dating dynamics, building confidence, and relationship strategies backed by research, subscribe to this channel. Stay insightful, stay patient, and stay connected.